Namaste. This presentation is for educational purposes only and does not claim to diagnose, prevent, or cure any diseases or disorders. The advice and methods in this presentation should not be construed as financial, medical, or psychological advice or treatment. And please seek advice from a professional if you have a serious issue. And if a Chod session doesn't feel right to you, please do not perform it. This meditation contains imagery that some may find disturbing. Discretion is advised. And by watching and or participating in this presentation, you understand that results are not guaranteed. Yamajit, John Hollinsby Mayer, Tridevi Chamunda Mandir, and YouTube cannot accept any responsibility for any injuries or damages incurred from the practices and meditations contained in this video. Namaste and welcome to Tridevi Chamunda Mandir in Denver, Colorado. This is Yamajit, and thank you so very much for joining us for our Friday puja and satsang. I'm very glad that you're joining me, especially after a week off. I've been acting as caregiver to my wife who had her left knee replaced last week. And I'd like to give my thanks to people who've been watching this channel and giving their best wishes for my wife's recovery over this last nearly 2 weeks. Before we begin, I'd like to start out with a couple of announcements. So this coming Tuesday will be the next installment of our Kali for Everyone series. And this will be a puja and satsang to not so much the Divine Mother Kali, but one of her implements, and that is the flaying blade known as the Kartika. And so we're going to do a special puja and satsang in honor of this particular ritual implement, which, by the way, will play a key role in the imagery of tonight's Chod meditation. This is the blade that the Divine Mother, in the form of the black dakini Tromanagmo, will use in for severing for the tops of our skulls, symbolically, and also dismembering our lifeless corpses, which will then be feasted upon by our inner demons. Next Friday will be a puja and satsang, part of our series for the 64 yoginis. We'll be honoring Marathi yogini. Both of these will be at 7 p.m. Tuesday and Friday, and you're welcome to join on YouTube, and you're also welcome to join us in person at our temple if you're in the Denver area, 1260 South Xavier Street in Denver, Colorado, 80219. Again, welcome and namaste. Those of you who might be tuning in at this time, please feel free to say hello using the chat function on the bottom of your screen. So this presentation will be an adaptation of a traditional Tibetan Chod practice dedicated to the Divine Mother Vajra Yogini in her fiercest form, the Black Goddess Tromanagmo, and it will be offered as a sound healing meditation for the healing of body, mind, and spirit. Tromanagmo, who we see in this white bronze sculpture in the center of our altar, is regarded as the most wrathful form of the female Buddhas. And she's also known as Chod Kali, or the wrathful Kali. And I'd like to say namaste to Jamie, who is joining right now. And for more information on this form of the Divine Mother and the practice of Chod, I invite you to watch some of the earlier Chod broadcasts that can be found on this channel. Tonight I'll be sharing a traditional concise Chod meditation, which will be sung in English and will also be accompanied by traditional instruments, which include the temple drum, the shang bell, and the kangling, or thigh bone trumpet. In preparing this meditation, I've simplified some of the traditional terminology in order to make the practice easier to follow for non-Buddhists, and to adapt it as a guided sound meditation for the healing, not just personal healing, but also collective healing. Tonight's traditional Chod practice is called the Dzogchen, Longchen, Nyngtik, Kusali Chod, and it was translated and edited by Lama Dreamdad and his team in 2006 in California. The phrase Dzogchen, Longchen, Nyngtik, Kusali brings together several key terms from Tibetan Buddhism, especially the Dzogchen tradition. So the term Dzogchen translates to the great perfection, refers to the highest teachings of the Nyingma school of Vajrayana or Tibetan Buddhism. And it focuses on recognizing the mind's natural, already perfect state. The terms Longchen Nyngtik means heart essence of the vast expanse, a famous cycle of teaching revealed by the sage Jigme Lingpa. It synthesizes the teachings of Longchenpa, one of the greatest of the Dzogchen masters. And this is one of the most widely practiced Dzogchen lineages today. And then the term Kusali is the Sanskrit term Kusali means virtuous practitioner, or one who is skillful in practice. In this context, it refers to a specific meditation practice, specifically a form of Chod, offering practice, offering one's own body symbolically. And it's used to cut through ego clinging and deepen realization. Kusali is also sometimes translated to mean the beggar's feast, and it expresses the idea that if we have nothing else to offer our fellow human beings or the divine, we can always offer ourselves. So Dzogchen, Longchen, Nyngtik, Kusali generally refers to a specific meditation practice within the Longchen Nyngtik cycles of Dzogchen, where the practitioner, the Kusali, engages in a profound method, often involving symbolic self-offering, to dissolve ego and realize the natural state of mind. In simpler terms, it is a high-level Tibetan Buddhist practice combining the philosophy of Dzogchen, or ultimate awareness, the lineage of Longchen Nyngtik, also known as the heart teachings, and the method of Kusali, self-sacrifice, ego transcending practices. Found a script for this practice on the academic source website Scribed, which I highly recommend for anyone doing serious research on virtually any topic. And I will be chanting this Chod practice using a traditional melody. Tonight's practice will take place in a number of stages. I'll begin with a simple puja to Ma Troma Nagmo, something I've added to the original sadhana to help set the mood of the practice and also establishing sacred space. I will then invite you all to lay down in Shavasana. Close your eyes and breathe deeply. There's nothing else for you to do. Just open your receptivity and allow the words, the chants, the melodies, and the sounds of the traditional instruments to guide your consciousness where it needs to go at this moment. There's no right or wrong way to experience this practice. What you experience will be genuinely your own. Each section will be sung in English, accompanied by the traditional instruments, and you'll have an opportunity, therefore, to experience the energies of this practice. The first sections are the refuge, which is the calling of divine forces, and the bodhicitta, which is establishing an intention to establish divine enlightened consciousness for the purpose of relieving the sufferings of not just ourselves, but all sentient beings. The main practice is the Longchen, or body offering, also known as the poa, which begins when we imagine ejecting our consciousness outward through the crowns of our heads in the form of the goddess Tromanagmo. And we imagine her slicing off the tops of our skulls from our lifeless bodies to use as her cauldrons, into which she places the pieces of our bodies. The skull cup is placed on a tripod of 3 human skulls, under which burns a fire powered by the goddess-centered mantra Om Ah Hong. The skull cup's contents boils into nectar, whose steam forms offering clouds, which are carried to their recipients by different forms of the Divine Mother emanating from Ma Tromanagmo's heart. Through this practice, there will be 4 symbolic feasts for the 4 classes of guests. A white feast of white nectar. This is dedicated to the Buddhas, the Bodhisattvas, and the peaceful deities. The red feast for the Dharma protectors and the wrathful deities. A variegated or rainbow feast for the beings of the 6 realms, ranging from those dwelling in the lowest of hells to the realm of the hungry ghosts, to the realm of the animals, the realm of the humans, the realm of the jealous gods, and the realm of the heavenly deities. And then finally, a black feast of flesh, blood, and bones for the demons, and those to whom we owe karmic debts from all our previous lives and our present lives as well, past, present, and future. Following the feast, we will then honor the same 4 classes of guests by offering them our altruistic love, showing the gods and demons and spirits and beings the way to enlightenment, or bodhicitta, to heal all afflictions and to relieve all sufferings. The practice will conclude then with a short meditation to allow us the opportunity to fully integrate the energies into ourselves from this practice. And during this time, there will also be a short mantra repetition. And then finally, closing and some benedictions. To punctuate certain parts of the meditation, the ritual will be using a mantra Pe, which means crack or boom. And this mantra releases our intentions into being. And we'll also be using those 3 seed syllables, Om Ah Hom, which embody the power of the Divine Mother in all of her aspects. So at this point, I invite you to sit comfortably, find a comfortable seated position where you can look upon your screen with a relaxed gaze. And I'd also like to welcome Zigzag Zebra and Arati to our practice tonight. But I invite you to sit comfortably, breathe deeply, take a moment to ground, to center, to prepare for the workings that we're about to undertake. Focus your breath and your attention upon your heart center, and take a moment to silently connect with that divine presence within yourself, whatever form it manifests for you. And just simply acknowledge that in taking part in our practice tonight, you're taking a giant step toward receiving the healing that you need, the resolution to a particular issue that you might need, or receiving the knowledge that you need at this time. And you can also think of somebody close to you who's at need at this time. But breathe deeply and look upon the screen. Keep your gaze relaxed. Slowly bring the palms of your hands together at your heart center. And let's begin our practice by 3 times repeating the syllable Om. And then I invite you to just simply continue with the deep breathing and watch our opening puja. So a deep breath for Om. Om. Second deep breath, Om. Om. And a third deep breath, Om. Om. Jai Ma. Jai Ma. Jai Ma. Om Mahagurudeva Dakinyesa Padevara Agyam Praticha Hom Sva. We offer water for drinking. Om Mahagurudeva Dakinyesa Padevara Padyam Praticha Hom Sva. We offer water for washing. Om Mahagurudeva Dakinyesa Padevara Pushpe Praticha Hom Sva. We offer flowers. Om Mahagurudeva Dakinyesa Padevara Dupe Praticha Hom Sva. We offer incense. Om Mahagurudeva Dakinyesa Padevara Aloke Praticha Hom Sva. We offer light. Om Mahagurudeva Dakinyesa Padevara Navidye Praticha Hom Sva. We offer food. Om Mahagurudeva Dakinyesa Padevara Gande Praticha Hom Sva. We offer fragrance. Om Mahagurudeva Dakinyesa Padevara Shabda Praticha Hom Sva. We offer music. Om Mahagurudeva Dakinyesa Padevara Puja Praticha Hom Sva. We offer our devotion. Jai Ma. Jai Ma. Jai Ma. So I invite you to lay down in Shavasana, or this can be done as a seated meditation as well. But whether you're seated or laying down, I invite you to find a comfortable position where your back can be straight. And make any adjustments or micro adjustments you might need so that you can remain still and comfortable for the next several minutes. You may wish a pillow under your head if you're lying down, or something under your knees. Maybe a blanket to cover you, or something over your eyes. Or if you're seated, maybe in a straight back chair on your mat with a cushion under your hips. But either seated or laying down, just find that comfortable position where your back can be straight and your breath can be full. And again, make any adjustments you might need so that you are comfortable as possible. I mean, you can certainly move if necessary in the course of this meditation to be more comfortable, but try to settle in as comfortably as you can so that it won't be necessary. And I invite you now to close your eyes and breathe deeply. And open yourselves to the visualizations and the experience of this practice. And if you wish, I invite you to think or maybe visualize a personal issue that's currently in need of healing or resolution. And as you focus on this issue, if possible, try to note where this issue resides in your physical body. Could be a place of physical tension, a place that maybe feels cold or empty, or just somewhere that your awareness is being drawn to at this time. But if you find such a place, just let this be your personal focus for the energies generated in this practice. And then if it feels right, I invite you to imagine what your personal issue would look like if it were a living being. This will be your personal demon, which will be fed and transformed into a benevolent light being during the black feast of our meditation. Your inner enemy will be transformed into an inner ally. So I invite you to notice the appearance of this demon, its size, its shape, its color. What kind of skin or surface does it have? Skin, fur, feathers, scales. Notice its eyes and its personality, the mood that it may be in, any sounds that it may be making. And take a moment and notice any other characterizations. Anything else you notice about this being. And simply tell it not to be afraid. You have what it needs most. And then I invite you to just simply take a deep and clearing breath and let go of that image for the time being. During the Black Feast of our meditation, it will be invited to return and to feast and to be transformed. So in the meantime, relax and breathe deeply and let the songs and the mantras and the instruments guide your consciousness. Jema Tramanagmo. Jema Tramanagmo. Jema Tramanagmo. Om. Ah. Hong. Pei. Until enlightenment we take refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Sangha. We generate the awakened mind in order to perfectly accomplish our own aims and the aims of all others. May all beings find happiness. May we all be freed from sufferings. And may our happiness be everlasting. Pei. 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 May we realize the equal nature of all things by forsaking grasping to our beloved bodies. Our minds emerge from our crowns into space. Our minds emerge from our crowns into space. Pei. 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 The demon of the Lord of Death is conquered. Our consciousness becomes Tromanagmo. The demon of afflictions is conquered by the curved blade in her right hand. The demon of the aggregates is conquered, and our skulls are cut. She holds our skull cups in her left hand, in the manner of enlightened activities. Our skulls are placed on a tripod of human heads for the three subtle bodies within our corpses are large enough to fill the billion-fold universe with the letters Ah and Ham. Our bodies melt into the nectar of wisdom, and they are purified, increased, and transformed by the power of three syllables. Om Ahong, Om Ahong, Om Ahong, Om Ahong. Pay, pay, pay. The fire burns, the skull cup boils, steam rises, forming white offering clouds of nectar. The dakinis emanate from the heart of the Divine Mother, carrying the offerings to their recipients. The Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas, our teachers, the peaceful deities and benevolent spirits. For them, the nectar manifests as puja offerings, as gold, silver, jewels, silks, palaces, and healing medicines. Om Ahong, Om Ahong, Om Ahong, Om Ahong. Pay. The fire burns and the skull cup boils. Steam rises, forming red offering clouds. The dakinis carry these offerings to the wrathful gods, the Dharma protectors, and the directional deities. For them, these offerings manifest as wine, meat, horses, armor, and weapons. Om Ahong, Om Ahong, Om Ahong, Om Ahong. Pay. The fire burns, the skull cup boils, steam rises, forming rainbow-colored offering clouds to be carried to the beings of the six realms, to those beings who dwell in the deepest of hells. to the realm of the hungry ghosts, to the realm of the animals and the humans, to the jealous gods and the heavenly deities. The offerings manifest as those things each being needs most and desires. And by consuming them, the beings of the 6 realms, the 6 states of being, are relieved of their sufferings and attain enlightened consciousness. And here you yourselves are invited to visualize yourselves receiving the medicines you need most at this time for the healing of body, the healing of mind, and the healing of spirit. Om Ahong, Om Ahong, Om Ahong, Om Ahong, Om Ahong, Pei. Again, our bodies are suddenly reborn and then collapse, falling down dead. With a curved knife in her right hand, Tromanagmo, the Divine Mother, the Black Dakini, chops our bodies into pieces. The fire burns and the skull cup boils. Black steam rises, signaling the demons and malevolent spirits and karmic creditors to gather. And upon our flayed and bloody skins, Tromanagmo heaps our flesh, our blood, our fat, our bones and organs. The demons and spirits begin to feast happily upon our bodies. And again, through this feast, their sufferings are relieved, their wounds are healed, and their eyes are opened to enlightened consciousness. At this time, you are invited to watch your own personal demons partaking in the feast and being transformed into benevolent light beings. Om Ahong, Om Ahong, Om Ahong, Om Ahong, Pei. Pei, Pei, Pei. Pei. Above the guests who receive the offerings are fulfilled, having perfected the 4 accumulations. We obtain common and supreme spiritual powers. The samsaric guests below are pleased, and karmic debts are discharged. In particular, all harm doers and all obstructors are satisfied. Illnesses, evil spirits, and obstacles all subside into space. Adversity and self-grasping are crushed into dust. In conclusion, the nature of all the offerings and recipients without exception are placed in the great perfection are placed in the great perfection. Ah, ah, ah. We dedicate this merit to the benefit and happiness of all sentient beings. May all beings be filled with the benefit. May all species be filled with happiness. May every suffering ripen upon us, and may the oceans of suffering be dried up. Om Ahong. Om Ahong. Om Ahong. Pei. Each and everything arises from a cause. This cause was taught by Lord Buddha. What is the cessation of sufferings? The great practitioner of virtue explained this to us. Refrain from every negativity. Engage in an abundance of virtue. And completely tame one's own mind. These are the Buddha's teachings. May all beings abide by these teachings of the sacred Dharma forever. Om Ahong. Om Ahong. Om Ahong. Pei. By this merit, through the nature of devotion and the total defeat of all negative forces, all sickness, sufferings, and death, may all beings find liberation. Just as the omniscient Manjushri and the sage Kuntazangpo have done, so too shall we through this training. Thus we dedicate all of these virtues. We dedicate in the same way as the Buddhas. As dedication is highly praised by the Buddhas of the three times. We dedicate all these roots of virtue to the perfection of the deeds of the most excellent. Om Ahong. Om Ahong. Om Ahong. Pei. I invite you now to visualize the black Dakini Tromanagmo, Krodkali, dancing upon corpses above the crowns of your heads. Surrounding her are the demons, the spirits, and ghosts who took part in our 4-part feast. And see them now transformed into benevolent light beings, bodhisattvas. Our enemies have become our allies. With the syllable pei, this scene will transform into a sphere of golden light hovering above your heads. Pei. With the next inhalation and the syllable pei, the sphere will descend through the center, through the crowns of our heads, through our central channels, to rest within our heart centers. Pei. And feel that divine power within your heart center. I invite you now to take a deep and clearing breath and let go of the meditation. And I invite you to rest in a place of stillness and silence, integrating tonight's practice fully into your being. Benza Krodanyana Kali Bamharini Sahum Peya. 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 I invite you to take another deep and clearing breath and feel your awareness returning to your body and your surroundings. Become aware of your body supported by the floor beneath you. And notice the clothes that cover you, the temperature of the air upon your skin. And slowly begin to move your fingers and your toes, your hands and your feet, maybe giving a little stretch. And if you're laying down, I invite you to very carefully roll over onto one side and just rest on one side. And continue to bring yourself back, keeping your eyes closed. And then when you feel ready, I invite you to engage your hands and your arms and bring yourself back up to a seated position. Again, keeping your eyes closed and keeping your hands, bringing your hands together at your heart center. And take a moment resting with your hands together. And take a moment to give your thanks and your gratitude to the Divine Mother in all of her forms, knowing she is with you always to guide you, to teach you, to heal you. And also take a moment to give gratitude to yourself for taking part in this practice tonight, knowing that you can replay this broadcast at any time when you have need for this meditation again. And also acknowledge that you'll watch for the subtle effects of this practice in the days to come. Maybe increasing feelings of relaxation, flashes of insight, maybe some interesting dreams, maybe handling a situation a little bit differently than you might have in the past. Maybe just the right information coming to you that you need at this time from the right person. Slowly opening your eyes. Namaste. Blessings always. Thank you so very much for joining me. And Jai Ma, Jai Ma, Jai Ma. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Thank you so very much for joining me. I'd like to thank Jamie and Arati, Zigzag, and Kim for joining this evening, and anybody else who is watching live as well. And I'd like to give my thanks to anybody else who is also watching tonight or will be watching the recording in the future. And I look forward to you joining me Tuesday evening, 7 p.m. for a special puja and satsang to the Kartika, also known as the Driguk, the knife of the Dakinis. Until then, have a wonderful weekend ahead. And Jema, 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 Jematadi, Jematadi, Jematadi. And thank you. And have a wonderful night. Jema.